Right, so in today's video, we're going to be getting on this lawn with a little bit of top dressing. I'll be showing you what I'm using, how I'm applying it, but most importantly, explaining why we top dressing it today, what benefits and what impact are we expecting that top dressing to have, because you might want to consider doing it to your lawn too. But before we get into that, let's have a quick little chat about what we've already done to the space and why we've done it. So if you saw the last video on this lawn, or even this lawn up at the top, we've already hollow tine aerated both of them, and the reason being was because we want to help these lawns to survive through the winter. That hollow tine aeration is going to keep the soils drier than what they would be compared to if we didn't, but also it's helped to improve that microbial activity, helps the water to percolate through, all those benefits, yada yada yada. I will leave a link in the description or somewhere on screen to one or two of those videos that you can check out to see actually how to hollow tine aerate yourself, but also understand the benefits behind it. And as you can see from the lawns, if you get in right over the top now, we can't really see very well anyway where the holes are. I mean, some of them are still a little bit visible from the surface, the odd one, but most of these like spaces you can see are worm casts. So if you do aerate yourself, don't think that you're going to end up with holes all over your lawn, because as you cut it and as you come out and maintain it, and the grass just does its own thing by growing, it slowly kind of covers up those holes. I mean, they'll still be there, but the sward's going to sort of fill in over the top, so it doesn't look too unsightly. But even though we're actually getting on top dressing the lawn today, we're not actually going to be filling the holes, because the amount of top dressing we're going to be using is going to be a really small amount. Now this stuff is the 70-30 top dressing mix from Agrigem, so I think it's around about it's like less than a £5 a bag. But I do know it's quite expensive, because you have to end up having to like pay for delivery, and if you get a certain amount of delivery, it's cheaper or something like that. I picked up 10 of these bags earlier this year, and granted it was quite expensive, but if you do get it, it's going to last quite a while depending on the size of your lawn. So if you just have a look at what the top dressing looks like, you can see that's made up of quite a lot of sandy material. What you would do if you actually removed all the cores from the soil and filled them all with this kind of top dressing, it'd be more of a soil exchange as opposed to a top dressing. That's kind of what I did last year, is remove all the cores and then refill them with this sort of stuff, and then use that as sort of a top dressing as well. And what I mean by soil exchange is replacing one core of soil, which might have contained quite a bit of clay, with a load of this, which is obviously going to contain quite a lot of sand. But like I've already said, I don't want to fill those holes, because you do lose the aeration properties of them. And if you are going to soil exchange, then maybe hang on until the spring, because then your lawn's got much more time to recover, particularly if you've got a lawn in the shade like I have. If I go and fill those holes now and smother the grass with sand, it's really going to struggle. So we're going to put the smallest amount of this down as we possibly can today. But before we get into that, let's get the mower, let's give the lawn a quick cut. So I'm going to top dress the lawn today just by simply using a drop spreader. I'm not going to use a lawn loop, not going to use a brush, not going to use a landscaping rake. And this technique isn't going to work for every type of top dressing, but if you've got a really sandy mix, it's definitely going to work, because the holes at the bottom are quite small, which means you get a nice even distribution across the lawn. So I'm not sure entirely how much I'm going to put down for the time being. I'm going to use the eyeball test to see, but I filled that up pretty much to the top to begin with. So let's see how many passes it takes to kind of distribute this and whether it actually needs it. Now, before we actually get on the lawn with this top dressing, we first need to understand the reason why are we applying it today. Now let's start off firstly with why we're not applying it. We're not putting this down to level the lawn out. I know sand is a really great leveler, because it's going to fill in any of those divots and give you a nice smooth and glassy surface, but this lawn is as smooth as I need it. Yeah, it's not completely smooth. It's not like a snooker table or anything like that, but I've been cutting this lawn mostly between sort of 15 and 20 mil this year, and I've not noticed any sort of spaces where it's a little bit too high or a little bit too low, where it actually impacts the aesthetic of the lawn. Often people go out and need the level when they're actually cutting the lawn between sort of like 20 and 30 mil, which is, you know, quite a long length of grass, so you don't need it to be super smooth to actually get a really good aesthetic. So we're not using it to level today. What it's there to do is a few different things. The first of which is going to help to firm up the soil, particularly now that it's autumn. And what I mean by that is that when I'm actually getting on with the lawnmower, because it's quite heavy, it's compacting the soil down and making that initial surface quite soft. What this sand will help to do is to actually firm up the soil. Those sand particles are going to sit within the top layer of that soil and help to kind of bind everything together, so it's a little bit more robust, particularly when we're getting on with a mower. I'm thinking of actually retiring this mower for the year soon and actually getting on with the web push mower instead, because it weighs around about a quarter of what that actually does, which that's going to help as well. But this sand in particular is going to help to just keep that surface nice and firm. What else it's going to do is it's going to sit within that thatch layer. Now, if you saw the video I posted about the grass cores a few weeks back, you'll know that this lawn really doesn't have a whole lot of thatch at the moment. But what the sand will do is it will sit on that top layer of soil where the thatch is going to live. And because it's going to fill that layer ever so slightly, it's going to help that soil to start to consume the thatch, to break it down. So it'll break it down a little bit faster, and it means that it's sort of negated the need for us to actually get on and scarify this year. So this is sort of helping to decompose that thatch, meaning that the thatch isn't going to become a problem, and then we don't really need to remove any of it either, because there is such a low amount of it in there. And other than that, there's not really a whole lot of benefits to it. In terms of quantity, you're talking the best part of 1 to 2 millimeters of material across the entire thing. So if you think about those holes we already have, putting 1 or 2 mil of sand in there isn't filling them whatsoever. And actually most of the top dressing is going to sit on the soil between where all those holes are, just getting on, putting that light dusting down. So in terms of hole size on the drop spreader, I've gone with 8. So it's not the biggest hole, it's not the smallest hole, it's somewhere kind of in the middle. And if you're not sure what size of hole to start with on your spreader, then it's always better to go a little bit smaller and then do multiple passes than it is to go on a really high setting. You end up dumping too much material down in one go. So there we go, the top dressing has now been applied, and if you're just getting right over the top of the sward, you can see where that sand has started to fall between those grass blades. What you can do now is you can get on with a brush and just lightly brush along your stripes, because what that's going to help the sand to do is to kind of fall within the sward, or you can just leave it, it'll be absolutely fine. What I would recommend doing though, potentially, if you don't have any rain coming, is maybe just give your lawn a light water, because again, do the same sort of thing as what the brush is going to do. It's going to help that sand to kind of fall off of the grass blades and further down towards where the soil is. And I'm going to avoid getting on it with the lawnmower for the next few days, because where the actual sand is stuck to some of those kind of damper grass plants at the moment, it's going to make the grass blades quite abrasive, and if you get on with your lawnmower, it's just a surefire way to actually dull your blades. So avoid cutting it for the next few days, let it kind of recover, because by putting any top dressing down, you are going to put your lawn under a little bit of stress. Granted, not a load of stress this year from that top dressing we've just chucked on, because nonetheless it needs a little bit of recovery time with no sort of intervention from yourself, because again, it's all about keeping your lawn strong, keeping your lawn healthy, getting it into the best possible position going into the winter. And just for reference, I actually put the rest of that bag of sand in this. So we're talking about maybe, let's say, a quarter of the bag of sand that's left, because we topped this up as we were going. So it's probably at around about 3/4 of a bag of that top dressing, which isn't too bad considering last year I think I put down around about 10 bags of the same top dressing, smothered the lawn, caused it to go under an immense amount of stress. So you're talking like less than 1/10 of what we got on it with last year. Those holes are still there, they're still able to breathe, to improve that microbial activity, yada yada yada, all that good stuff. So boosh. So if you have enjoyed today's video or found it useful, consider giving the video a like. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We've got loads of lawn care stuff on the channel already, lots more coming up. I'll be posting updates as well throughout all of the winter, sort of showing you how each of the lawns look during sort of October time, November time, December, even into the new year, because the idea is we want these to be looking boss all the way through, as boss as we can keep them anyway. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't. Finally, thanks for watching.